David Horowitz is trying to get state lawmakers to pass laws protecting conservative students. He also happens to be the author of Indoctrination, the left's war against academic freedom.
As an outsider to the university, all I can do is be a catalyst.
Every time somebody lists me as a danger professor, I get dozens of emails by patriots all around the country accusing me of every single thing. The temptation when something like that happens, and this is where freedom of speech comes in, is to just be quiet.
I don't like what's happened to our schools because political ideologues have gotten control of the curriculum. And
Horowitz doesn't exist in a vacuum. He speaks for a substantial portion of America.
The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight. Ward Churchill says it again. After our report on Friday, Professor, all hell is breaking loose across the country. Ward Churchill, go!
My count, he ran 40 segments.
The tenured Tonto.
Focusing on me, often the lead segment, 41 consecutive nights of his program.
Can he be tried for either treason or sedition?
If the Academy cannot sustain public confidence, then regrettably it will find legislators who are interested in intervening.
If he wants to stand on the west steps of the Capitol, say what he wants to say, let him do that, but not as a professor of the University of Colorado.
So what the university did under enormous political pressure was to convene a special investigation.
A thorough examination of Professor Churchill's writings, speeches, tape recordings, and other works.
Because if they could find that he was guilty of research misconduct, then they could get rid of him, not because of what he said, but because the fact that he was professionally disqualified.
What was said was going through every line he's ever published and every word he's ever publicly spoken insofar as it was recorded and we can get our hands on it. Every word. Good morning.
Good morning.
I feel like I just won the Daytona 500 or something.
We are at an historical crossroads with this kind of decision, because you will do irreparable damage to free speech and academic freedom if you fire Ward Churchill based on these trumped-up charges.
Today, I issue to Professor Churchill a notice of intent to dismiss him from his faculty position at the University of Colorado Boulder.
Yes, they fired Churchill because of his academic misconduct. They discovered skeletons in his closet. I think the real reason was because of the speeches he made concerning 9/11. Very often in free speech, what happens is they use one reason to justify convicting or arresting somebody or prosecuting somebody, while really the truth is it's his free speech that's being punished.
I don't feel happy about that case at all, or even maybe about my own position in the case. But when I read the report, I found it extremely difficult to imagine saying that he lived up to academic standards, the academic standards that one needs to live up to if one is going to have the autonomy that academic freedom depends on.
Well, if it comes at a price, it's not free. If there's consequences, it's not free.
Is now complete. We have no more use for that song, seeing it is now forbidden under penalty of death.
People come to America because they're fleeing oppressive regimes. What draws them here is they think they're in a free society, in a society where they can say anything. But when they get here, what they learn is if you want to have that right, you have to fight for it every day.
I'm Debbie Al-Muntasser, and my family came from Yemen. I came to the United States at age 3 to upstate Buffalo. When I arrived, it was in the winter. The next morning, I woke up before my parents, looked out of the window, and there was white everywhere. And I started to scream all over the house, wake up, there's sugar everywhere. And my dad woke up and he was just laughing and he's like, it's not sugar, honey. And I'm like, no, it's sugar. This is America. This is where you get everything you want, the place that you can have all your dreams. I'm one of those firm believers in that you do things in your life for a certain reason because they end up developing you for something that's bigger, awaiting you in the future.
Khalil Gibran was an idea that came forward through our new small schools movement and developing a dual language program for students to learn Arabic, but also for Arabic students who may be new to the country to learn English as well. And we felt this was extremely important, and so we provided a lot of support to make that dream a reality.
I guess I met Debbie initially through interfaith work after September 11th. In a very real sense, Debbie is not a political person. She doesn't have grand political agendas. She's about simple things like cooperation and respect.
The school was publicly announced on February 12th of 2007. The excitement that I felt was like a mother who is awaiting, her child to be born.
As soon as it was announced publicly, a number of far right-wing groups got into overdrive about it.
There were numerous of pieces written in the New York Sun. One of their writers is Daniel Pipes.
My initial reaction, as expressed in a weblog entry, was a great idea in principle, but let's be worried about what it might mean in fact.
Daniel Pipes is a right-wing ideologue with a think tank based in Philadelphia who puts forward a consistent anti-Arab, anti-Muslim perspective through a number of media outlets that interview him and give him a space to speak out.
Intense Arabic instruction tends to go with an agenda, a political and religious agenda. More broadly, I think it's good for everyone, Muslim and non-Muslim, to acknowledge that there is a problem having to do with Islam.
Why is it that in this city, I've had to sue to get a nativity scene put in the classroom? The Muslims just got off the plane, and they've got an opportunity to put up their religious symbol.
There's a whole bunch of people who are trying to portray this as a religious school. It's not. Period. End of discussion. Our dual language Chinese school, in that school, they have the same math, all the other things, and that'll be true at Khalil Gibran.
My name is Pamela Hall. I'm a member of Stop the Madrasa.
Yes, Stop the Madrasa Coalition.
A group of people, unbeknownst to me at the time, put together an organization called Stop the Madrasa. And they became activists, and they started taking a variety of steps.
Virtually all terrorists today are Muslim. This is a sad fact.
People will come up with everything they want to try to undermine the credibility of the school. Quite frankly, the school is what it stands for, a public school.
This battle for our schools may have begun in Brooklyn, but it will not stop there.
They viewed this as just one local battle on a national war that they're in the middle of, so this was just a local front. Yeah, they want to start a radical madrasa in the New York public school system.
How do we know it's a madrasa?
Well, first, because we know who Debbie Almontazer is, and we know the people behind her. We know what they say, we know what they think. They're part of the Islamo-fascist crusade in this country.
She is someone at the fringes of American political life with extremist views on the war on terror, on the president, on a number of other issues.
Is it true that you don't believe 9/11 happened? Is it true that you don't believe that Arabs and Muslims are responsible for 9/11? Is it true that you're going to be teaching Sharia law at the school? Is it true that you're going to be segregating the boys from the girls and leading Islamic prayers?
And as the old adage goes, you repeat a lie enough and it either becomes a truth or looks like a truth.
Let's start with the principal. I read an article where she would not answer the question if Arabs were responsible for 9/11.
Oh, she's an apologist, and it's clear that's what she is.
What you read was the first part of my quote. And what they left out on these blogs that you're reading was, I don't recognize them or Arab or Muslim because they've it's so emotional to talk about this, sorry. They hijacked my identity and my religion for their acts. The one that I would say that deeply, deeply hurts me is the one, is it true that you don't believe 9/11 happened? I was here on 9/11 in New York City. My son, a National Guardsman, was activated on 9/11 to go and serve his country at Ground Zero for 6 months. So for people to say to me that you don't believe it happened is quite, just crushing. And for people to make those judgments based on the fact that I'm Arab and Muslim is just really, really sad.
The area that they were most effective in was reaching out to their ideological allies in the media, who picked up this story and banged the drum about it consistently from day one.
She received an award from the Council on American Islamic Relations, the most prominent Islamist group in the United States.
Members of the Stop the Madrasa Coalition saw this website, and so they decided to go to every event. Bearing cameras, taking pictures. The very last event, which was the Arab Heritage Park Festival, and AWAM, which is Arab Women in the Arts and Media, an organization that provides young women with youth leadership and empowerment. And they had a table where they had some T-shirts. And one of the T-shirts that they had read on it, Intifada NYC. The Stop the Madrasa Coalition saw this T-shirt on the table. They took pictures of it. They went home and they looked up the website of this organization. Days later, they put together a press release, which they sent out to the entire country, basically stating that I am responsible for a T-shirt that read Intifada NYC and that I have absolutely no right to be a principal of a school when I am affiliated with an organization and a T-shirt that is promoting violence. The reporter's first question to me was, I want to know about your affiliation with this organization. And my response to him was, there's really nothing to talk about because, it has nothing to do with me or the school. So we move on, and he basically says to me, what I wanted to ask, and have a better understanding is about the word intifada. Based on the fact that you are well-versed in Arabic, I'd love to understand what the root word is of the word intifada. My response to him was, as a reporter, this is something that you should have already done your homework on, rather than asking me this question. And his response was, yeah, of course I've done my research, but, just wanted to have a better understanding of the root word, its origin. Started engaging with him in the conversation and giving him the root word from the Arabic language, which he would find in a dictionary. So I told him that it was shaking off. However, you have to understand that this word has evolved, and through its evolution has become known as uprising. And it's very well known for the uprisings that have taken place in the Middle East, where thousands of people have been killed. This word today has different meanings for different people.